about having an emotional toll. And here you were this great champion, and your trade was taken away, the competition was taken away. Could you just take a moment and talk about the emotions that you did feel, whether it was sadness or anger or frustration? Can you share a little bit?
I feel like I shared a lot in the players' trivia piece. Well, I think for me it was definitely, I wanted to play more, and I wasn't ready to leave Europe at the time that I did, and I was unfortunate to get injured at the end of that trip, and I didn't know how long it would keep me away from practice, from competing. I thought I still had a chance to compete at the grass, but once I got another scan and the inflammation, the edema went away, you could see the tear a little bit more clearly, and I wasn't going to be ready by the time I could start playing on grass. So that was tough, because even though when I played 3 tournaments, I felt like I was just getting back in the rhythm of things, and I loved that feeling, and I wanted to build on that. And whether I had good matches or matches that I lost, it was just great to be in that routine. And so to have to get back to the drawing board again with the body, I think the great thing taking away from the last 8 weeks was that of course I was frustrated, but I kept doing the work, and I did it without any hesitation. I knew it had to be done, and there's an element of injuries that's just sort of, you're injured, but there's so much that goes into it. There's a lot of work, and I did it, and here I am.
Maria, how long before this tournament were you able to actually practice full out? You felt comfortable that it was okay and
Yeah. I think playing the World Team tennis matches was good, just to get my confidence back in the body, because it was an injury that I've never had before, and it happened like in a moment, and just after a serve, and I knew right away that I never had a tear in my muscles before, so that was something new, and it was just a different experience. I couldn't really walk normally for 3 weeks, so I think the last few weeks I've been playing pretty full out, but just having those couple of matches where I felt like, I'm not thinking about it. I had to work on my serve a lot, because it happened on my serve, and so that was a little frustrating, because I felt like I really served well, like serving well in Europe, and I just had to make some adjustment, because something wasn't firing right with the leg at that point. So.
What do you think you played tonight?
I think there's a lot of things I can take away from the match. I started strong, I started aggressive. No doubt that I had a letdown and loss of concentration and focus, and then I got it back up again and just did play smart. I felt like it could have been a match that I should win in 2 sets, but it didn't happen tonight. And the great thing was that I came out strong in the third.
Tonight was the second largest ever attendance for a Monday night at this tournament. And the biggest was 2009 when you played on a Monday in the first round. How do you feel the fans reacted to you, and what was their support, or what was their support?
I mean, you tell me. I definitely felt like there was support, and it's great to play so close to home. It's been a while since I played in the States, and I enjoy that feeling. I've lived here since I was a young girl, and I always feel really, really at home when I compete in the U.S., so just to be able to play in front of a big crowd on a Monday night, as you said, is special.
Maria, how has it been in terms of taking this break and staying on point with your training, as well as developing this book that you've been promoting?
Well, the writing of the book, went along 2.5 years before, at the end of 2015. So it's been a long process with the book, and really hasn't changed much of my training, because I've always done a lot of things in my career. And I guess the training in the last couple of years, I've trained more for myself and for my mind and for my body, and self-esteem than anything else, than particular tournaments or goals, and that was nice, because I think I I gained a different appreciation of what my body could do and what I enjoyed doing, and that I actually liked to work out. I don't know, it felt kind of strange because I never had that feeling before. But yeah, it's nice when you're just doing it for yourself and you're not doing it for a particular event or tournament. So I felt like I could do different things and try different things and not worried about whether I would be too tired for my tennis or whether I would be injured. Or it was nice. It was a nice little break from that perspective.
Depending on how many events and how you do the next few weeks, do you expect to need a wild card for the U.S. Open, and do you think you'll get one?
It's not something that I'm focusing on. There was so much, when I started playing on the clay season, there was so much focus on the French Open wild card and Wimbledon and really around the Grand Slams. And I understand that the Grand Slams are the big events and they're the ones that you want to compete at. But when you've been away from the game for such a long period of time, my focus is solely on the event that I'm playing at. And for me, playing here is just as big. And I'll take away a lot of positives, maybe a few negatives, and I'll have to work through those just as much as I would at the U.S. Open. So my mind is not there. I'm not, so much was put on the decision of the wild card at the French Open, and it didn't work out, and that's not really my frame of mind today, and I'm not looking forward to what's going to happen in 5 weeks.
You got a lot of support from the fans tonight. Were you at all surprised that there was sort of mixed reaction from players as to whether you should get the wild card spots in the French and in Wimbledon?
I don't think it was really an element of being surprised or not. It's not. I'm very fortunate and grateful for the tournaments that have provided me a wild card, and I'd say 99% of them have at this point. So I'm very thankful, and I'm, a lot of these events I've played at before, and I have a history with the people and the fans and the tournament itself, and so the opportunities that I have, I'm taking it, and I want to perform, and I want to perform well, and it means a lot to me to be here.
Maria, what was the toughest time during your time off during the suspension, where it was really the roughest? And how did you deal with that?
I mean, I think a lot of it came just from the uncertainty and just, as I said, you always have this plan and a goal of when you're going to compete, and just not really knowing for about 6 or 7 months. That was really challenging for me.
Maria, you touched on it a little bit in the essay, but I mean, looking at the crowd tonight and their reaction to you, you wrote a bunch of different things. Like, on some level, it's surprising to hear like a superstar athlete say, like, I kind of maybe didn't appreciate the fans before as much as I do now.
I don't think I use the word appreciation. I think it's more a true understanding of what a fan really is. I think I really, on just a more personal level, I don't think that's something that you have or don't. It's a feeling. It's like whether you feel like, I knew that people would come up and ask for my autograph and they would say congratulations on your career, but when you really think about fans waking up in the middle of the night to watch you play when they have an exam coming up in the morning, and you really start to think of why they do that and how they idolize you, and you give them something in their life to cheer for, and you're an example that they live by. So I just really as people were coming up to me and telling me that they couldn't wait to see me back, I think it just hit me really personally than it ever did before.
Maria, if you want to say the one thing that you learned the most from being away, what would that be?
That I learned?
The one thing you learned the most from being away, what would it be?
I mean, I guess I could take many lessons from being away. I don't think one wins over another. Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I definitely learned a lot of things. It was certainly a learning experience.
Would you say that you're a different person in any way from before in terms of these changes and times of your life?
I don't think I'm a different person. I would say I'm an evolved person, and I think there's an element of growth that I went through, and I think it happens naturally in that situation where I think you're either, when you're faced with something like that, you have a choice to make and how you're going to handle it, and I'm very proud of the choice that I made and how I went about it, and I had many challenges along the way, and I still face them, there's no doubt about it, but I think I set the tone well just for myself and for my mind and for my body from the very beginning, and I think that's the reason I've been able to, to still appreciate what I do and still want to do it. I think I had every opportunity not to, and there's nothing that said I don't want to do it.
And was there a time, aside from the support of your family and your friends, that was really sweet, but really was poignant in terms of support or a gesture that was meaningful to you when you were?
There were so many incredible moments, and I think those are all very personal and, that I'll always cherish.